Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zaks Traders Cafe for Friday the 9th of May. Starting off with the FTSE, which is sandwiched between the old pre-tariff rug pull area, which was around the 8,500 mark, and the 50-day moving average, and then a line of resistance from the end of March, currently running through 8,600, so maybe 85 to 8,600. End of day close through 8,600, and we're looking for a retest of March resistance through towards 8750. Best case by the end of next month, and giving this market a bit of time, would be up towards 9,000 at that green April 2024 resistance line projection. On the downside, if we do stay below 8,500, then we've got the risk of a test of the 200-day line there at 8360, but not really expecting that given the way that the RSI seems well settled in the upper 50s at the moment, which tends to be a leading indicator on the upside. On to the DAX, and you wouldn't believe it, but we are basically toying with record levels above 23,500. Top of that rising trend channel from March last year, heading towards 24,300. That's our target over the next week or two, especially while we stay on the right side of 23,000. The Dow is next, and here this has been the underperforming market, but even here we managed to find support at the 50-day line there, 41,100, and it looks like we're heading rapidly towards the 200-day moving average, 42,200. Ideally, we get to 42,800 late March resistance over the next week or so, and stay on the right side of recent support towards 40,500. It's been an RSI rebound at neutral 50, so we're at looking good on that particular front, and basically almost heading back towards the pre-tariff breakdown range at 41,700. Moving on to Bitcoin, which was knocking on the door of 100,000 belatedly yesterday, and obviously today it's managed to consolidate that. We had the mid-market or move consolidation around the 95,000 level, and then bounced off the floor of that bull flag. Current situation is we're looking for 120,000. We were looking for that originally by the end of this month, and we got a bit cautious and made it next month, and now it looks as though actually we could get there by the end of this month, especially while we're above the initial $98,000 resistance for May. So that is looking very encouraging indeed. On to gold, and here with the threat of nuclear war, we've seen this market push through 3,400 again, but it has come back. We're still toying with the floor of that rising trend channel. The level currently around 33.10. I'd like to see this market stay above that on an end-of-day close basis, and also stay above RSI 50 versus 56 at the moment. But I suppose that one has to factor in the possibility of a move down towards that 50-day line, as we had back in April, and that happening sometime in May, given the recent double top through 3,400. Moving on to the stocks, and big kudos for Brave Bison getting a mention on Sky News. Not something you would normally expect for a company which is only a 33 million market cap, but it's very interesting that managed to make the grade. 3.3 pence atop of that rising trend channel, which we've had there for quite some time, the end of 2023. And we're looking for that at least while we're above the recent support and 200-day moving average at 2.3 pence. On to Cirata, which has managed to, as was noted a few days ago, managed to give the impression of being a turnaround situation. We were looking for 28 pence at that red resistance line projection, probably with the gap higher that we had yesterday and the ongoing move today. Probably looking for the upper 30s by the end of next month, or even sooner. The key here is breaking that 200-day line, currently at 25 pence. We haven't been above that properly since the end of June last year. So a long-awaited turnaround, and perhaps for some people an unbelievable one. But the mid to upper 30s is still now possible within that falling trend channel base. Moving on to Eco Buildings, where I suggested that the company might be building something, certainly building a rally here. We've got the rising 50-day line, little bull flag breakout, looking for 10 pence now, that we managed to get to 7.5 pence, end of day close above that falling trend channel. Could be the start of a decent turnaround. We've already had a decent turnaround, but ongoing decent turnaround there. I covered ITM, I think, yesterday as well. We had a second gap higher, and the shares have followed on from that gap, looking for up to £44, while we're above the £36 level, and decent turnaround there at the moment. One of the big successes here in terms of technical calls has been INSIG AI, and continues to be the case. We've had various targets. The first one was 23, the second one 30, and the final one up to 41, which is a rather obscure line there from the summer of 2022. And if we can get up there by the end of today, we'll have to see what the next level up for this stock is, but it's done very well, and the fundamentals matching the technicals. They're probably looking for the 50p area, but we'll have to look at that in more detail next time. Next up is KR1, which seems to be slightly at odds with reality at the moment. Obviously, we've seen the very strong situation at Bitcoin, and KR1 just coming off the bottom of the range. We've managed to gap through the 50-day moving average, which is a decent signal, and mostly blue candles there. Looking for the shares to get up to 56p, perhaps as soon as the end of this month, after the RSI 50 rebound, the gap through the 50-day line. And just as I said, the being out of kilter with the market at the moment. End of day close or weekly close back above 40p, the old September support, would suggest that the bear trap, or a bear trap, was in operation. Moving on to Metals One, which is just the gift that keeps on giving in terms of the price action. Here we are near the top of that rising trend channel from February at 33.5p above that, looking for 40p. Hopefully later this month, and want to see the share stay on the right side of 30p on a closing end of day close basis. On to Mosman, which is, I suppose, the new version of Metals One, absolutely on fire. The recent interview here, very well taken indeed, and obviously the news flow came in there after that, did suggest that we were looking at 0.08, and that looks as though it may come in well before the end of this month, which would be quite a decent thing to happen. Recent resistance around 0.61, the stop loss at the moment on the upside argument after yesterday's gap to the upside. Oxford Biodynamics is next, and here, after a rather miserable run, we're hoping that the shares will be able to turn around. They've gapped up today, a slightly higher low versus last month. The last month's low 0.38, and this month just around the 0.39 level. Initial resistance here at 0.48, and obviously that compares with the placing price at 0.5, so that area presumably the first target for the shares, if we can stay on the right side of 0.4. On to the last two, the first one OPG, and here the first signs that, or the first sign that we've got a turnaround. We've got the RSI at the highest level of the year so far, and looks like the shares could make a beeline for 6.3p or 6.5p, which was December resistance and that August resistance line projections. Upside valid here while we're on the right side of 5p. Finishing off with Physiomics, which delivered a massive 67,500 contract. Not sure whether it was worth actually announcing it, but here we've had attempts at rallying. Maybe that was on the basis of potential contract wins, but the main resistance here at 0.56, and that's what we're hoping for while we remain above the 50-day line there, 0.43, which we are just doing so by the skin of our teeth. That's it for me today. More updates over the weekend.